he's like, this is the only like symptom I see. He was like, he does have gyno, and I'm like, damn, he saw it.
Yeah, he got me.
Because I've been so good at hiding it since I was.
What's up guys, Derek, moreplates.com. Today we are going to be reacting to, you know what, getting Noah Beck's blood work back. So if you remember, in the last Noah Beck blood work natty or not thing, they went to get it done, but they didn't actually get any results. So here we are making the reaction to the actual results. If you saw my feedback on why this would not actually factually prove if he's natty or not based on the biomarkers chosen, you can go watch the first video. But in this one, they actually get, you know, what they can like what we can speculate on back results wise and then give our interpretation. But as mentioned, it's not elaborate enough to prove anything. They don't even have gonadotropins in here, but still it's gonna be interesting nonetheless. Obviously a lot of people are probably interested in his T levels. The guy has good genetics, just to see where he's at, and we'll give our kind of insight. And obviously I'm gonna give the reaction video. I've gone this far, so let's get into it. So I'm just gonna skip through some of the workout shit and just get to the actual talking parts.
You're all the way good. No, you're all the way good. It's just like, I wonder at what point does it start to feel like less and less and less, like your sex drive and stuff. But your chest is getting lower.
That shit's never.
It's never going away.
So here, presumably they're talking about erectile quality, libido, etc., based on the fact that this guy has been in a deficit for a, you know, extended duration of time, trying to get as cut as possible. His goal physique is Mark Wahlberg from the 90s. So obviously to get that lean, you're going to need to be in a reasonable deficit unless you have, you know, well, that's just what you're going to need to do, you know. So presumably that's what he's been doing for a while now, trying to get as cut as possible. And you'll notice his physique is a lot more streamlined than it used to be. He's a lot less bulky. He is a bit leaner for sure, but he's lost a lot of mass overall in the past 6 to 8 months. Now he's only been working with Brad for, you know, a chunk of that, but you know, the physique has definitely taken a different look on in the last bit. And expectedly, like I mentioned in the first video, if he has been eating in this deficit for such a prolonged period of time, we would expect to see fairly reasonable reductions in his total T production based on the energy restriction essentially.
In like a couple months when I look like my tip-top shape form, like, and close to summer.
Listen, guys, I gotta give you some stuff to wonder about, all right? Look, Mr. fucking Derek, I know you're Mr. Scientist. How you been feeling though?
It was like I don't know if something got cut out there, but that was like a very short, I don't even know what he's referring to exactly. He thinks I'm gonna like analyze the shit out of, like, I don't know, maybe just what I just said is what he's talking about.
Good. I'm just stressed about my fucking surgery.
Oh, you're telling them? You don't care?
I don't care.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Why hide it?
This is gonna make them go crazy though, right?
Oh, cause.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell them the full story because.
Okay, tell them the full story. Because once they hear this, they're gonna be like, ah.
You know, they say this every time. Like, they're gonna go crazy. They're gonna do this. Like, I don't know if they even watch our shit to realize how objective we're being with our speculation. Like, I'm just looking at the blood work you're providing, looking at the body composition changes you're providing, and making unbiased feedback. Like in the last one, I clearly said I think he's natural, to be honest.
So I have gyno in my right breast.
Yeah.
Under my right nipple. It's like a lump. If you don't know what it is.
How long have you had it?
Okay, so gynecomastia, can you get it through puberty? Yes, it's actually fairly common if you look at Noah Beck. As far as I know, actually, to be honest, I haven't seen his historical body transformation from like teenage, well, I guess he's still a fucking teenager, from like prepubescence to like now. But based on like, I've been on his TikTok before to make these videos, and his profile picture, I don't even know if it's him, but there's like a pretty fat kid in the profile picture. If that's him, you know, it's pretty easy to see why you might be prone to gyno production. This is something that is exacerbated not only through estrogen input, which is something that's going to be excessively elevated if you have a significant amount of fat on your body, but in addition to that, the GH, IGF-1 stimulation, prolactin, progestogenic activity, etc., all is going to compound for a 1 + 1 = 5 effect when it comes to gynecomastia development. So if you're a fat kid going through puberty and you're eating like a house and you're not actually getting to a reasonable body composition, and that doesn't mean you should be cutting as a teenager, you still need to eat enough food to grow, but you should not let yourself get excessively fat where you have extra negative feedback to your HPTA, consequently lowering your testosterone production, leading to an elevated estrogen to testosterone ratio, not only making it harder to gain muscle, grow your dick, a bunch of other things you'd want optimized, but in addition to that, gynecomastia development can become a much greater likelihood of occurring. So with Noah Beck, I don't know if he was, a shredded, teenager or earlier teenager. Like, I keep forgetting this kid's a fucking teenager still. But, yeah, I don't know that, there's obviously genetic components too, genetic polymorphisms that hinder estrogen clearance and stuff like that. IGF-1 related gene mutations, shit like this that is going to all factor in. And it is fairly common to have puberty-induced gyno when your HGH, IGF-1 levels are through the fucking roof, testosterone production and downstream estrogen production through the fucking roof. Everything that could be a stimulatory input is through the goddamn roof.
Important.
I had it since I was like 12. I had it in both.
So you were using it when you were fucking like 11?
Oh, I was.
Wow, buddy. Holy shit.
No, I know that gyno comes from either steroids or puberty.
They can come from a lot of different things, but those are two very common causes, yes.
Okay. I mean, it's a buildup of tissue. Like people, it's not like, oh, this definitely happens during these times. But yeah,
okay.
It can happen.
Yeah, well, I had it in both of my nipples when I was 12 years old, 13. And then a few months later, my left one went away. My right one still has it since I was like 12.
Yeah.
And like I went to doctors when I was like 13, 14, 15, even 16. I was like, when's this gonna go away? Like,
damn.
Because my left one went away, and they're like, you just gotta let it run its course. It's puberty, and I'm like, okay.
So I'd be interested to see if this guy has actually tried a SERM before, see if he's tried something like raloxifene, had it prescribed. If you guys know Avista, raloxifene is probably the most novel candidate as far as the selective estrogen receptor modulators go, as far as attenuating gyno. So for people who have, like, I've already shown the studies in some of my most recent gyno videos about how raloxifene impacts puberty. I was gonna say pubertal, but puberty-induced gyno. It's fairly substantial and it's very effective at what it does. So some people get complete mitigation to it to the point that it's unnoticeable and they actually avoid getting surgery from the deployment of a SERM. Now, for somebody like Noah, where he's had it since 12 years old, how likely is that to occur? I can't say for certain, but it's interesting to hear that he has not at least tried that prior to going under the knife, because I've actually watched this video through once already, and he's going to be talking about how he's going to be getting gyno surgery done.
And then
It's
still here, and I'm 19 years old, and so I was like, this is ridiculous, and it's one of my biggest insecurities. I'm sorry for it's one of my biggest insecurities, because ever since I was like that age and I had him, I wouldn't wear baggy, I wouldn't wear tight shirts. Like when I go to the gym, you never really see me wearing a tight, like a Under Armour type,
yeah, whenever you take your shirts off, it's always like this.
And when you get leaner, especially, you're starting to see all the striations, all the muscular detail. It becomes more and more apparent when you have this glandular mass that is not going away, despite the fact that all the other fat tissue around your body is completely disappearing. So, as he's getting leaner and closer to his goal physique, this gyno is going to be more and more apparent. So it almost is counterintuitive to getting to your goal physique, because you're almost making it look more obvious. So, you could see where the self-consciousness comes into play and why he would want to get rid of it. I'm just surprised he hasn't actually tried anything like a SERM. They just told him, oh, let it ride its course, and then that's it. This guy, may benefit from the deployment of something like raloxifene before going under the knife. But, obviously that's up to him, up to his doctors. I don't know if they've discussed this with them. Obviously that'd be on them to do that, not listening to YouTube videos.
Yeah, it's always, yeah, exactly. So
they got you once. You guys hurt his feelings a little bit. I ain't gonna fucking lie. They got you once on the internet, right?
Yeah, when he said something, he was like, this is the only symptom I see. He was like, you just have gyno, and I'm like, damn, you saw it.
Yeah, he got me.
Because I've been so good at hiding it since I was that age, where I was like, I'd go out to parties, or I'd go out to a pool party. Right when I take off my shirt, flick the nipple, make sure that shit's hard. Call me if you want. Every time I do a modeling shoot, with my shirt off, even the photographer's
because you want it to be hard, so it doesn't.
Yeah, because when my nipples are hard.
So this is an exact example of what I mentioned before, where gyno is very temperature and situation sensitive. So if you have, for example, if your nips are hard and you flick them, you're not going to see the glandular tissue as much as you would when they're just soft and relaxed. In addition, temperature change. If you're in a warm versus cold climate or room or whatever it is, going to make a massive difference on how obvious it is. Like, you can literally within 10 seconds have it be there, and then within 10 seconds have it not be there, depending on what kind of situation you're in. So obviously his isn't that bad where you can just hide it by flicking your nip. Like some guys who have like massive gyno development, doesn't matter what the fuck they do, they're still gonna see it, but obviously it's problematic enough for him where he wants to get rid of it. And you know, that's totally justified. Like, who the fuck wants to be flicking their nipple every time they like go in a room shirtless? Like, that would fucking suck, obviously.
They look the exact same.
Or some shit like that. Like,
they look the exact same. So I'll literally, like, as soon as I take off my shirt, I'll go, and then make sure they're both hard. Yeah, like, fuck you, all right? It's my biggest.
no, I love it,
my
dude.
biggest
No,
insecurity.
dude,
like,
listen, more people than you think, I'm sure, have dealt with this, and they're probably like, what the fuck? So
Yeah,
you're
no,
going
it
to get
sucks.
you're going to get a surgery.
yes, so I'm going to get a surgery April 8th to get it removed. And I spoke to the doctor. He asked me the same thing. He was like, have you taken steroids? I was like, no. And he was like, okay, well, this is from puberty, right? And I was like, yeah, I've had it since I was like 12. And he was like, okay, well, most guys don't decide to take like action until they're like later in their life.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's good that you're doing it now, because once you get it surgically removed, it's not coming back. And he's like, so if it's an insecurity of yours, it's like really good that you're doing this now.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, when it comes to serums versus surgery, if you're already committed to the surgery, like, that's the most foolproof approach. There's no pharmaceutical intervention where you're fucking with, you know, hormones potentially. Not that serums really fuck with your hormones, they occupy estrogen receptors selectively in the breast tissue, so they're not that problematic. But, you know, it could return after you use a serum. It's not guaranteed to stay away, although, you know, you might have a drastic reduction to the point that it's no longer an issue. With surgery, though, it's like you literally are removing the tissue itself. It's not going to be going like up and down, flaring in and out kind of thing. You're just kind of done dealing with it forever. So obviously the surgery, the most sensical, permanent fix.
Jack.
How we feeling, dog?
Good.
Are you still on day 26?
Bro,
That you give up?
bro, listen, so I had to go on pause because I'm getting surgery.
What?
Yeah, so I'm getting surgery on, you know what Gyno is?
Yeah.
Look at him. Jack's like, what?
So I'm getting my gyno and my right nipple removed because I've had it since I was like 12. And it was like,
You've been taking
I got
years.
it-
That was such a reluctant yeah. It's like, yeah, I know what gyno is, which sort of implies I know what the fuck gear is, which sort of implies a bunch of different things at the same time.
He was like 13, 12. It's crazy, dude.
So I've never done steroids. Like,
Wait, are you on shit right now?
No, never done anything.
Okay.
Like, and I'm being dead ass when I say that.
No, I believe you.
I've never done anything. This is from puberty, and it was like,
Yeah, me neither.
I'm being dead ass when I say that. Dead ass, guys.
and it was from puberty, and so it's like
Jump in
a
there.
big insecurity of mine. And so like,
Okay.
I finally decided to like,
Wait, what's wrong with that? I've never noticed it.
it's literally just like a lump under your nipple, and like,
All right, let's see it.
Show them. It means it's gonna be gone.
yeah. So it's like, it's this right here, and like it's kind of just like a lump. and this
Okay.
one's just-
Oh yeah. Okay, fair. I would have
yeah,
never
it's
noticed
super
that unless
normal.
you told me that.
Yeah, you totally see the difference, and it's like when that.
So what do they do? Fucking
Like
take
if I
your
were
nipple out?
if I were to wear a white beard, like I want to wear a white beard
That
so
would
bad
bother
in the
you.
gym. Yeah, because then you easily
I
get
get
that
you.
shit. So it's
Okay.
like,
Yeah, you gotta do what makes you comfortable.
yeah, exactly. So I'm doing that, and it's like I can't train for like 2 to 3 weeks after. And so right after that, I'm gonna go right back to like.
So you're gonna start on day 1, or you're gonna start on day
day one. I'm gonna start.
Okay,
over.
fine.
How
I
long
can't,
have
like,
you been
cheat
training
myself.
for?
Well, I've been training since 2016, but I was like 145 when I started.
Yeah.
I'm like 165, 170 now.
Because you train consistently as fuck.
Yeah, I mean now I do,
Yeah.
but like it's because I'm really trying to like, I want to.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Okay, yeah, he's pick upable.
Wait, what?
You know, he was just talking about not being pick upable.
No, well, it's just like personal preference. Yeah, it's just like.
But you also weigh 260 though.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna skip through the workout.
And like street fights and shit. Like,
Which should actually be really entertaining.
Yeah,
So-
that's pretty fun.
Okay, let's get to the blood work. Let's see.
We're gonna pop these up on the screen.
All right, let's see. So IGF-1, 250, estradiol, sensitive assay, 19 picograms per milliliter.
So that you guys can fucking critique the shit out of Noah Beck's blood work. But it's pretty fucking normal.
SHBG, high normal, pregnenolone, normal.
His test is not super high. We wanted to sprinkle like a little bit of
And moving down to the testosterone, total liquid chromatography with tandem mass spectrometry. So this is very accurate, 390 nanograms per deciliter. So this is pretty much exactly what I expected in the first video. I mentioned he's been dieting for a prolonged period of time, doing a lot of, presumably a lot of cardio on top of his lifting, I would think. And expectedly, the representation of that is going to be down regulation of your HPTA to some extent. Your body thinks you are kind of starving, so it's basically going to down regulate a lot of different functions endogenously via your endocrine system. So this is something that is not necessarily like, on paper, it's pretty bad for a guy his age, but one, depends on, well, first of all, micro and macronutrient intake, like how high quality is the diet model that he's following? Is he getting enough vitamin D? Is he getting enough zinc? Blah, blah, blah. Above and beyond that, what time of day did you do the blood draw? So I don't know if they went early in the morning when everything would be peaked, or did they go in the afternoon when you'd be having a dip via his diurnal rhythm? What, exactly happened with that? I can't say for certain without knowing more of the context. And then he's been in a deficit for a prolonged period of time. So this could easily be, like I could see somebody getting freaked out when they see this blood test result. For me, what I would look at is, okay, let's like feed you up, get you hot, like a great night's sleep, go get the blood work immediately upon waking, and then see where it's at. That's what I would be doing to see a true representation of where your shit's at, rather than thinking like the 390, dude, you'd be like 60-year-old, like decent 60-year-old territory. Like, it's not very good. But again, this is perfectly reasonable to expect for somebody who may be in the conditions I outlined just now. Now, again, if all of those conditions weren't met, I'd be a bit more concerned. But at the same time, I'm assuming some of the shit probably doesn't line up perfectly. Like, I'm sure not everyone is waking up at the crack of dawn at this place. A lot of these guys stay up late, editing, fucking doing whatever they do. They're not going to be getting to a, blood draw at like fucking 8, 9 a.m. So there's that. And then above and beyond that, the prolonged dieting period. I don't know how much he's been refeeding, if at all. I don't know what the diet model looks like. I don't know how aggressively he's been doing cardio. All that kind of plays into it. So, a 390 might not be that unrealistic. If you've seen some of the studies on natural bodybuilders and what happens to their hormone levels as they really diet down for a show, you see pretty drastic drops, like far even lower than this. So, it's not totally out of the ordinary. This is where you'd want to look at the gonadotropins too, to get more insight into what's going on with the HPTA and how down-regulated things actually are.
Surprise. So his test is not honestly, I thought it was gonna be a little higher.
Okay, so a 57.6 picogram per milliliter total or free testosterone. So, lowish normal, but again, when you have a 390 total, like what do you really expect with your 40 plus SHBG? This is not going to be high normal just simply based on your total production. It's like impossible at that point. So this isn't optimal, but it's more contingent upon the fact of all the things I just said about his total. Everything else, total estrogens, his estradiol sensitive, reasonably normal given his total T production. GH, kind of a pointless test in my opinion. Everything else, looks fine. Kind of expected, to be honest, given where he's at.
On the range here, it's 250 to, I think it's 1100. And he's 390. So your test is 390. So you're
guys, to be fair, I have no idea what any of this means. I'm just going off what Brad says.
Yeah?
Like when he told me to take gear.
But you do, what? Why would you do that right now? This is like, now they're never going to. This is not the video for it, bro. This is the video where we're showing them when you're not on gear. Come on.
If you, like, that's so, what's funny about this, if people know me, like, the people watching this, if they know me, they know I'm so, like, particular with what I put in my body. Like, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, like.
I don't know why he's, like, trying so hard to justify it. Like, I'm pretty sure, I think he's natty. I literally said that in the last video. I don't really know anybody, I haven't really watched any other videos. Maybe there's a lot of people claiming he's on gear right now, but to me, I would speculate natty. The only time frame that was ever suspect to me was last year when all of his friends were saucing on this arm. So for me, this is like, his physique right now is totally representative of like a good genetic natural, in my opinion. You can see how much more streamlined he is. You can see how much leaner he is. You can see how much less bulky he is. Everything looks good, dude. So, I don't know. This it's like unnecessary justification. The guy seems natty as fuck to me.
I know. You're a psycho.
The only bad thing that I put in my body is like
sweets, Oreos.
Yeah.
Cookies.
Is it really that bad though?
No, it's amazing. It's good.
No, it's good.
It tastes good.
That's like, I don't trust any of the other shit.
I mean, Oreos probably fuck too.
Like,
comparing Oreos to fucking gear.
Literally got me on like vitamin D, some like biotin. Like I'm scared of that shit.
Yeah,
like at first I was like,
vitamin
are you
D.
sure? Like, is this shit okay?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, it was funny. Like apple cider vinegar and shit. And he was like, whoa, are you sure I should take this?
Yeah, Yeah, it's all good stuff to add, obviously, especially vitamin D with you know what going on, as well as trying to keep your T production as high as possible. That is one of the main things you should be loaded up on, or at least, you know, as when I say loaded up, I don't mean like excessively burdening yourself with it to the point that you're getting fucking ridiculous overcalcification of stuff. Rather, you have a sufficient enough to keep your vitamin D where it should be to stave off the you know what and to help your hormone production. So this is something that, you know, totally reasonable supplement to add in. I don't know if that factored into, I'm surprised they didn't get the vitamin D checked. Maybe I missed that, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't in there. But, you know, that would help, you know, maintain your T levels as you get deeper into a deficit. So totally reasonable supplementation.
Steroids?
That's like the classic creatine. Like it's like when people are like creatine, they're like, but this is steroids.
I wouldn't take creatine. Like all my friends did it in like high school. That like when we were playing football, they were like, let's get big, let's fucking crush the opponents. And I'm like, no, like I'm not
Why did you not want to do it?
Not eating creatine is like saying I'm not going to have a protein shake because it makes no sense. You can get protein from fucking lean meat. You can get it from a protein shake. You can get creatine from meat. You can get creatine from a creatine shake / you know, a little scoop of creatine mono that you get at the store. Not a big deal, dude. Definitely could be beneficial to your routine in more ways than I can't even fucking talk. In more ways than one. Why was that hard to say? I don't fucking know. But anyways, it is plays along with neurological health, fertility, obviously muscle size and strength. Like there's a lot of shit that goes unaccounted for when it comes to creatine. People just think, oh, it just bloats your muscles, gives you like false size and false strength. It's like, no, it actually plays a lot of different roles that go totally overlooked. Supporting your methylation demands, a lot of shit.
Did you think
I'm weird. Like I didn't want to like ruin my, like I'm so particular with what I put in my body, and it's like,
I would have ruined your body, man.
I know, but at the same time, I don't want I was just superstitious about
like somebody who's lifting hard too. If you were creatine deficient, you're actually placing unnecessary demands on your body in your actual methylation demands too, in order to synthesize this shit endogenously when you could otherwise supplement with it and take a significant amount of demand off your system and not place unnecessary excessive methylation demands on synthesizing this creatine. So upwards, I think it's like 45 to 50% of your body's methylation demands are used to synthesize literally 1 gram of creatine endogenously per day. So if you otherwise could supplement on top of that, get your saturation in, you could otherwise have far more available resources to other processes, especially in a neurological aspect. And a lot of people don't realize too, it can actually increase the number of myonuclei that satellite cells can donate to damage muscle fibers. So this is down the line going to lead to more of a bank of myonuclei to draw upon for muscle protein synthesis and greater muscle growth in general. It's not just overinflating your muscles with water weight, rather it is actually increasing your genetic potential.
I don't want it to change. I don't want to have side effects. I don't want to and I didn't want to get too big. Like all my friends taking it, they got like big, and I was like, fuck that.
You just hold a little bit more water.
Yeah.
You don't get like big, you know?
Would help you stave off muscle catabolism when you're in this deficit, which down the line is going to make you actually look better.
You're not. Creatine's dope. I love creatine, but like
I didn't need it for soccer. Like I was
for sure not. You definitely did not. I
didn't need any of this for soccer. The only thing, the only drug
You don't need it. Could it help though?
I ever put in my body, fucking hard work.
Okay, shut the fuck up. Realistically, you don't need any drugs or supplements for anything, but the goal is like if you're doing over crazy amounts of activity, or if you're like over dieting, or if you're like trying to go super hard, like supplements can aid like in adding those things to your body that like you're taking away, that is making like your body. So there's a benefit to it, but at the same time, like you don't necessarily need anything. At the end of the day, what you eat, how hard you work, how much water you drink, how consistent you are is gonna make or break your fucking progress. And if we're talking about this in regards to like steroids and all this other shit, even if you're doing those things, yes, some people genetically predisposed will like react like much better to those things and have a lot more leeway when it comes to like how they do or don't be consistent with the diet. Or
yeah, some people just look at a weight and they blow up. Some of them like sleep like shit, don't eat well. Look at Kevin Levrone on his like first contest prep. The guy was eating like McDonald's and shit and still blew everyone out of the water. Like at the end of the day, it's going to come down to your genetics, but also what you do with those genetics and your genetic response to certain things.
Or how much water they drink or how much food they eat. Like they could have more leeway. Yeah. But at the end of the day, no matter what, like hard work is never beaten. Drink enough water, get enough sleep is never beaten. Yeah. So the biggest thing though is like when you start talking about competitive like bodybuilding or dieting, is like you're getting to these extremes where you're taking away so much stuff because like you're trying to get to a certain point, right?
You're trying to get to your body, yeah.
You're trying to get to like this fucking like peak.
Okay, so everyone knows my goal. Why on earth would I take any kind of gear if I want to get smaller?
I mean, because
everyone knows my goal. I'm trying to get leaner. I'm trying to get like
But that doesn't matter
Very
because you
lean,
can.
athletic look.
I get it, but you could take that and still achieve that look. It's all about how you're dieting.
You know what I mean? Like, shut up. Like, people
I know,
take
but
steroids to get bigger.
yeah, but not always.
Yeah, obviously there's cosmetic reasons you would take gear, obviously offsetting muscle loss. You don't want to end up a skinny, fat twig at the end of your cut because, you know, you have no fucking muscle support from, you know, your low test levels or whatever. Not that that's going to happen. I'm just saying, obviously, if you take gear when you're cutting, you're going to keep more of the muscle while stripping, like basically far more purely fat tissue than you would if you were, you know, cutting naturally. And that's obvious. And, you know, if you're trying to get, you know, smaller objectively, like you're trying to get a harder, leaner, drier, more athletically, I don't know, visually pleasing look, that's something that gear can help with. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to blow up just because you're on gear or whatever. So, you know, the over justification is unnecessary here. I think we all kind of know at the end of the day what's going on, and the body composition he wants to get, you know, he's obviously not very educated on compound selection and why you'd use it, what can happen just from a cosmetic aspect when you use certain things. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, I still think he's natural, and the blood work, you know, represents pretty much what I expected.
Always.
For the most part.
Athletic performance.
Like this-
there's a lot of other
I'm saying for the
reasons why
most
people-
part, I really just have no idea.
No,
Like,
you don't have to defend yourself.
but
Like, how many dudes in the UFC, a bunch of different sports in the world have you seen get popped for something and you'd be like, wow, that guy took gear? You know, you see Anderson Silva using Masteron. Like, does it look like he necessarily took gear? When he popped for Masteron, his physique was arguably worse than it was in the past when he was supposedly clean. Like, there are a lot of guys using shit you would never think are on shit, and that's even world-class athletes.
I'm
I
just
just
trying to
want
talk to them in
good, you
general.
know? I just want like a aesthetic.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so that was interesting video. So, you know, pretty much the outcome I was expecting. And yeah, you know, I guess good luck to Noah on the gyno surgery. That must be coming up pretty quick here. And yeah, that's pretty much fucking it. There's nothing really to talk about. Let's see the comment section, I guess. What's up, guys? Derek, MarBladeSportAids.com. Today we're going to be reacting to Noah Beck's blood work. That's probably pretty much what I said. Let's see. Doesn't even need surgery. Even the guy in the white tank said I don't even notice it until you told me. Derek's delt's gonna be out for this video. Oh, well, fucking there you go, dude. Let's see. What's up, guys? Derek, MarBladeSportAids.com. Today we're gonna be, okay, we got it. So, anyways, everyone's kind of expecting me and Greg to be popping in here, which, you know, is an obvious reaction, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the feedback, the analysis of the biomarkers and whatnot. And if you want a more elaborate explanation behind what you should be getting checked in your blood work and whatnot, check out some of my other videos. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, check my blog, MarBladeSportAids.com. Follow me on Instagram, I'm MarBladeSportAids. Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below, including my TRT clinic. It's all telemedicine from the comfort of your own home. I recommended lab tests and diagnostics. Gorilla Mind, nootropic formulas, Gorilla Mode, pre-workout formulas. I designed myself from scratch, and anything else I'm associated with, it's all in the video description below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.